Hi Capricorn, welcome to your November 2018 Tarology 33 reading. We have a Celtic cross spread in front of us, and as always we have an oracle card that we'll read at the end to help tie everything together. So let's go through these cards one by one. In the main situation position we have the Tower. So for some of you this could be a sudden, something falling apart, a relationship. With Venus in retrograde, that's certainly a possibility, and especially I'm recording this on the 21st of October, but there's actually going to be a full moon in Taurus on the 24th or 25th of October. I think it's the 25th, and that's going to be in Taurus conjunct Uranus, which is in retrograde right now, and that's going to be your 5th house, Taurus. It's going to be opposite Venus in retrograde and squaring the north and south node. So it's going to be a pretty intense full moon in my opinion. And maybe that's when this happens. Especially because I see this card as Uranus energy sometimes too. So that's certainly a possibility. And for some of you, it won't be an actual relationship per se. I just say relationship because I see the two people in the image, but it could just be an image of a person. Maybe someone that you've held in high regard, whether it be a prospective person that you wanted to be in a relationship with, maybe a person that you were with in the past and you broke up in the past but you never got over them. That could be what happens too. Something comes to light where you see that person more clearly, because one way or the other, whether people come back around for us to get closure by physically being around them, or just thoughts of them come around, or we find out something from a mutual friend about them, or we see something on social media these days, that's another way that could play out. Or if it's just, in our mind, we reprocess the situation and see it more clearly. That could be what's at play there. So for some of you, that's what it could be. And for some of you, it could just be the realization that something that you thought was pretty stable isn't as stable as you thought. And, sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of it, but definitely that you have to put in work. In the challenge position, we actually have the Page of Pentacles, but it was in reverse. So this could mean financial loss for you guys. So this could just be a sudden repair that comes up. For example, maybe you have car issues, especially Mercury retrograde is coming in the middle of this month and right on the heels of Venus retrograde, because Venus can involve love or money. It wouldn't surprise me if that could be what it is. Maybe there's a surprise repair that you have to make on your car that you weren't expecting, or as it gets colder, maybe you guys fire up your heating system for the first time and there's an issue with that. You're like, oh great, I have to pay for this, you know what I mean? If that's the case, it does look like you will be able to cover it, but of course nobody has in mind, oh yeah, my car is going to break down tomorrow, you know what I mean? So the unexpected expense could be what jars you a bit in that regard. But yeah, some of you, this could just be financial loss in another area as well. But I definitely see this with the Page of Pentacles in reverse and you guys being a Pentacle sign as an unexpected expense of some kind. For some of you, it could mean job loss. I'm not really seeing that though, honestly. If it were going to be a job loss situation, it might be someone around you that loses their job. And the reason I say that is in the near future, we have the Ten of Wands. So it might be one of those situations where, now with them gone, you have to put in a lot of extra work to pick up the slack for their being gone until they find someone to replace them. That's certainly a possibility. But yeah, if I just get the feeling that it's something related to finances in that regard. And, maybe this is you working overtime to help pay for the repair expense that comes up, for example, or again, having to work extra hard because you lose a colleague. That could be what's at play. In the foundation position, we have the Queen of Swords. So this is actually my court card that represents Libra. And Venus is retrograde right now in Scorpio as I'm recording this, but right at the start of November, it's going to be back in Libra. So this could be something that actually took place. Basically, what's going to happen, let me just explain a little bit with the Venus retrograde. In November, it's going to travel backwards from 30 degrees of Libra to 25 degrees of Libra, and then it's going to go direct again. So the last time it was at those specific degrees was early September, I believe. So around Labor Day, let's say. So maybe let's say there was a financial offer made to you around Labor Day. They said, yeah, we're going to expand our office and we should do that in November and we'll offer you a promotion at that point to help us with that expansion, right? And then maybe you thought, okay, cool. So when November rolls around, I'm going to get this promotion. I'm going to be good to go. Can I have some more money to spend? And then you find out this month, oh, wait, actually, they're backing out of that deal. That can happen sometimes with Venus retrograde. Others' view might have been a relationship that started around that time and then suddenly breaks away. And then that throws you for a loop and has you feeling like that. But yeah, the good thing is, though, again, it's going to be retrograde that first part of the month, then it's going to start moving direct again. And with this could also just point to, Libra is the sign of balance. Their symbol is the scales. So it could just be saying if this is some kind of loss you take, the scales will be balanced and you'll be able to make that up in some way. In the past position, we have the Five of Swords. And can't get it to focus. There we go. So this is usually a card that points to a conflict where there were no real winners, It could have just been a petty argument, or it could be someone doing something underhanded as well. So if this was a workplace thing, for example, maybe someone had lied about something, whether it was available resources, going back to, maybe you got an offer and they withdrew it, or, maybe just some kind of gossip in the office, or someone was doing something they shouldn't have been doing, and now the ripple effect of that is now you're having to pick up the slack because that person got fired, right? Or there is an argument in the office, and because of that, someone quits, and now, great, this person quit out of the blue because of this argument. The reason I say that is, you see the two people walking away there. So maybe there was just some argument in your workplace, led some people to quit, and now you're like, oh, great, now I got to do all this extra work to make up for their absence. That's something that could be playing out there. Trying to think if any other messages come to mind with that card. No, nothing else. I will say that's actually a card of Aquarius, the first 10 degrees of Aquarius. So if this is the past again, this could actually also be pointing to when we had the eclipse back in the end of July in those degrees of Aquarius. That could be a possibility as well. And that's probably less likely, but yes, whatever this could be, maybe it was an issue that's been lingering for a few months and now it finally comes to a head. Put it that way. For some of you, it could be you guys that leave the job. You might get into an argument with management and decide that you can't have enough because we have the Fool at the bottom of the deck. So that could be you just taking a leap of faith, like, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore and leaving. But realizing, okay, that's going to set me back financially a bit. But if the reason I say that's a possibility is in the present position, we have the Page of Wands. So if you're the one who decided, you know what, I need to get out of this job, and you guys are pretty hardworking, Capricorn, so maybe that the tower situation is the office now, wherever you work, or retail, wherever you work. They're like, oh great, Capricorn just left, now we have to hire someone to fill their place, and this is you, like, you know what, I'm quitting my job, I'm gonna take a vacation somewhere, whatever, to decompress and then get back on the grind and apply to new jobs, right? Maybe this is you putting your resume out. So that's certainly a possibility, just because I'm looking at the Page of Wands looking right at the Fool card. So it's like, all right, that's the decision, taking that leap of faith. So it could certainly be some of you leaving the job suddenly. So, and that, like I said, if it is a job loss, I either feel it's someone else in your environment rather than you, or it would be you initiating it, saying that, they didn't fire you, you quit. And now you're like looking for a new job. But in the near future, I see we have the 10 of Wands. So to me, this represents, working hard, but not necessarily seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. If you look at the person, they're carrying those wands, but it doesn't look like they could really see the clear path ahead of them, right? So, it could just be you're taking on a lot. Again, if you did leave the job because you couldn't deal with it anymore, there was, coworkers you couldn't get along with that were driving you nuts, or whatever the case may be. This is you walking away, that shows that you had a lot of experience with you, right? So that should help you going into the next job, and that could be saying that you're leaving them hamstrung by doing that. That's a possibility. But either way, like I said, even if it's the original scenario too, which could certainly be the case, where there's some unexpected expense, whether it's because you quit a job or someone left their job and now you have to pick up the slack for them, any of those scenarios, it looks like you will be working hard in the near future. So, mid-November, let's say. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Ace of Swords. So, considering this is in the upright, to me, this is you communicating the truth or the truth coming out about something. So again, if you found out that they were being deceptive at your workplace by promising you something that never really was going to pan out, and you had that thought, oh, cool, I'm going to have this extra money, you realize that wasn't the case, maybe that's what comes to you. You have that insight that, okay, yeah, they actually had no plan to do this all along. But what's good about this combination I see here is in the foundation, we see the Queen of Swords, and her hand is pointing in the direction of the Ace of Swords. So to me, this says a couple of things. One is that the truth will come out, whether it's you just realizing the truth or someone actually communicating the truth to you. But it's also saying, as far as, like we said, if we think of Libra as the sign of justice, when Venus is in those degrees again, that tells me that this is going to work out in your favor in some way. And then in the positioning environment, we have the Judgment card. This is another thing to me that points to something from the past coming back around, right? Scorpio is seen as the sign of death and rebirth, and right now, people often refer to the Death card as the Scorpio Major Arcana card, but I also see the Judgment card as another card that refers to that energy, but just the rebirth side of it. So again, this points to something coming back around. And with Judgment in the upright, this could be saying, as far as the environment, something in your environment works out in your favor, as far as if you were the one who was doing the right thing all along, right? And, and then if there was someone in your workplace or whoever, this could even be someone in your family making a rash decision and quitting their job. Maybe someone in your relationship with decides all of a sudden out of the blue to quit their job, and now you're like, oh, great, now I have to pick up the slack until you get a new job. It could be anything in that area. But something coming back around again, and with you, with the Sword of Truth, whatever it is, it should play out in your favor. So, even if it is, again, you going to another job, you have the experience, your resume is going to look good, you should land on your feet when it's all said and done. In the position of hopes or fears, we have the Strength card. So to me, this is probably a hope, and we could just say it on a very mundane level and say you're hoping for the strength to deal with this, right? But to me, it could be saying that you're hoping for recognition, and again, for the truth to set you free, basically, that if you were falsely accused of something, right, maybe you're hoping for These cards seem to support that. You're hoping for the truth to come out to liberate you in that regard. Maybe that's what that Fool energy is saying. Um, this could just be any area of life. It works out a few ways, but I'm really just getting that vibe. It's related to finances and career. Like I said, for some of you, it could be relationships. And the only reason the Pentacles there might be to say, as you guys being an Earth sign, you're represented by the Pentacles, and whatever happens throws you for a loop. But if you guys were in the right, the good thing is it should work out in your favor with these combination of cards we see here. Even if you have to work hard temporarily, it should pay off. But yeah. And then in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Cups. So this could be a new offer being made to you. I think your message last month had something to do with authenticity too. So maybe if you, again, like I said, if you're the one who decides to leave a job because the workplace was toxic, and you've been thinking about it for a while, and this is the month where you finally make that leap and say, you know what, I got to get out of here. If that's the case, it looks like the idea you have moving forward will pan out, whether it's to do something on your own. For some of you, this could be making a love offer to someone, right? That's certainly a possibility. This can also represent pregnancy as well, so I should mention that. So in other words, this doesn't have to have a negative connotation, but going back to, like we were saying, the time of Libra, or even when those degrees took place, this is probably going to be for a way smaller percentage of you, but it's possible that that's, you find out that you or the person you're with are pregnant, and now you're like, it's that out of the blue thing, realization where you're like, oh crap, we have to start saving up money, because you weren't, if it's an unexpected pregnancy, you're like, oh man, now we really have to save up and get refocused. That's certainly a possibility for some of you, but yeah, this is usually an idea too. It doesn't necessarily have to be tangible, so you could just be thinking of extending an offer to someone, or just thinking of a new idea for a creative project. But yeah, with the Fool energy, that wouldn't surprise me if you make an offer or someone makes an offer to you, and it could be someone from your past too. And maybe that's what throws you for the loop, you're like, okay, where'd this come from? You just weren't expecting them to come back around, but they come back in with the Fool energy, like, hey, here I am, and you're like, okay. So that could be another way that it plays out, but it's going to vary for all of you. And we'll take a look at the Oracle card now and wrap up. So we have Exchanging Gifts. Here's the artwork for it. And it's number 27, if that resonates with any of you. So we'll take a look at the messages. And actually, I should point out, Virgo had this same Oracle card, and I shuffled for a long time. So to me, that's more than coincidence. So if you're dealing with a Virgo, for example, maybe this is a Virgo. Maybe a Virgo comes back into your life and throws you for a loop, or leaves suddenly. That's a possibility as well. If you're dealing with a Virgo, or if you have a Virgo placement, like let's say you're Capricorn Sun, but you have a Virgo Moon or a Virgo Rising, definitely check out their reading. It might give you a little more clarity on what's going on. All right, let's look at the messages. All right, it says essential meanings: the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing cost, and determining value. The Oracle's message: you're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them. Yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time of just do, do, do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. So another way this is playing out to me too is maybe you do get a new job offer and it is a job that you want, but then you find out that the pay isn't going to be exactly what you thought it would be. It ends up being less pay than you were expecting. So that's what kind of throws you for a loop. Maybe you went in with this expectation, oh, this type of job should get me X amount of dollars a year. And that's what you built your expectations around, and then you find out, oh, they're not going to give me that. But if that message, if that's what you're getting from the experience, it looks like it's saying, if you put in the dedication, that 10 of Wands, and that could be what this Justice card is saying, that, okay, maybe right now it's not the money you're expecting, but give it time. Once you put in your work and they see the type of effort you're able to put in, the Judgment card, that should work out, and they should, compensate you accordingly at that time. For those of you this resonated as a relationship message, we'll read that next. It says, love is an exchange of life force energy between two beings. It grows exponentially when it's reciprocated. You must give and receive in order for love to flourish and abundance to flow between you. Spirit wants you to start accepting all the blessings waiting for you, as well as offer the same gift in return. Open your heart and allow it to be filled. Let love in and let it flow out of you too. Love is truly yours today. So, again, I don't really see huge relationship vibes here, other than the fact that, we do see Ace of Cups at the end there, so certainly that could be one of those things where you're dealing with these issues at the beginning of the month, and then by the end of the month, maybe someone extends a love offer to you, and it's saying to accept that, and, just give and receive, being that spirit. And maybe take that leap of faith, with the Fool at the bottom of the deck. All right, and lastly, we'll read the prosperity message, which I definitely got, like I said, a finance vibe from this for the most part. It says, all your hard work and efforts, your commitment to learning, creating, and spending your time wisely pay off in ways you may not have been anticipating. The gifts of yourself, your time, your ideas, and the energy of your intentions are being reciprocated by the universe, which is sending you signs and signals, aligning synchronistic meetings and opportunities to bring you success and more. Everything is an exchange. Keep doing what you're doing. Goodwill comes back tenfold. So the energies that could be playing out with that might align with what they're saying there is, let's say it is a sudden job loss for you. Whoever you decided, I can't deal with these people anymore, right? Because it's just a toxic environment, and you walk away. Looks like there would be something to fill in that space for you. You may have to work hard at the beginning, but you'll rapidly gain experience, and, you'll be compensated accordingly at that point. Trying to see if there's anything else that plays out with that. I think we covered everything as far as the prosperity angle goes and the finances, how it could play out. It does look like there's some kind of setback, whether it was just in your mind you were expecting more money than you get offered, but maybe it's just, you'll have a chance for rapid promotion once you're in the job. Maybe that's what's at play. Or if there was some deceptive energy, someone was being untruthful about what they could offer, then that comes out and that gets cleared up and works out in your favor too. That's certainly a possibility. But we'll wrap up there. If you guys are interested in a private reading with me, you could go to the About section of my channel for more info on how to do that. You could go to the Instagram page if you want to check that out. We have a little bit more fun with tarot on that page rather than these readings. And then if not, I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.